guys, how are ya? It's been a few days. Sorry. I know that's not usually how we do here. Usually I am on here every single day, whether I fucking feel like it or not, and I dropped the ball really bad. That's on me. Sorry. I'm here now. Although, fair warning, if you don't like my rambly, emotional, depressing sort of vlogs about my mental health or lack thereof, yeah, he should probably click out now, because it's gonna be one of those. That's the only reason we're here right now. And I don't blame you if you don't want to hear about it and me and my friggin' first world problems. I do not blame you a bit. But yes, as the title would allude to, yes, a wild depression has appeared. Again. Very unwelcomely. And it's not like I have a real good reason for it either. At least when it happens in the wintertime, I can blame it on the changing seasons being all dark and gloomy and rainy and depressing and shit. It's sunny and nice out right now, so I can't blame it on the weather. It's just my screwed up brain chemicals being screwed up brain chemicals again. So it happens sometimes. There's no real rhyme or reason to that. It just kind of happens. Although I do notice, and I suspect it's part of the whole Asperger's thing, is that I am well aware that seemingly every time that I get sick enough to miss days filming, specifically a bunch of them, it throws me off badly enough to where, yeah, it sometimes often does trigger another round of depression just because it threw my whole routine out of whack and my brain can't handle not living by my routine. Like, one little thing out of place is enough to send me spiraling. Like, I am very, very hard a creature of habit, and when anything comes up to change it, it messes with me badly. You know what else messes with me badly? The realization that I am looking more and more like my mother. Especially as these deepen up here, I can't look in the mirror without seeing my friggin' mother's face, and I am not okay with that, and there's nothing I can do about it, and the older I get, the more apparently it's coming out, and the more I don't want to see it. It's like the more the universe is making this be a thing. And, I mean, I think the forehead lines are, like, the clincher where it's like, I could kind of kid myself before into thinking, no, you're kind of a split between both parents. You could kid yourself in believing you look more like your dad, but, yeah, the stupid forehead lines. I don't know why that's the thing that makes it all click for me, that, oh my god, I look like my mom, and I can't escape it, where it's like, I don't even want to look in a mirror anymore because of it. I'm having a very hard time looking at myself in this damn viewfinder because of it. Yeah, I'm making myself cry over it yet again because first world problems. Yeah, I'm trying to will myself not to so I don't cry off my makeup, but that's probably a losing battle. Yeah, that, I mean, that's usually a pretty good indicator of my mental state, is, the more makeup I put on and wear in consecutive days, usually the more insecure and depressed I'm feeling, and I'm trying to kid myself as I put it on that I can kid myself into believing I have my shit together, at least a little bit, at least enough to make myself not be a burden to look at, kind of, sort of. Yeah, and maybe if I do enough makeup, I won't look like my friggin' mother. But the stupid forehead lines are making that be more and more of a losing battle, so I'm like, well, great, now what? I'm not doing Botox to stop those, so I guess this is just a metamorphosis I can't prevent, and I am so not okay with it. It haunts the shit out of me every time I look in the mirror, and I just am not okay with that. I have very, very deep unresolved mommy issues, and we are not going there today. So that's a thing. Probably also isn't helping matters that I basically am not eating Not for any good reason other than just depression making me not want to fucking eat. I think I went 3 days straight without eating anything at all. Not a bite of anything. I think I'd like drink some water and some coffee, and that was that. I think I ate like a meal 2 days in a row, and then I went back to not eating, and I am still apparently in that. I wouldn't say it's an eating disorder per se, although the mentality, once you've had one, it's always there, and that's why I spot it and I realize it's problematic, and I should probably be trying to force myself a little harder to force some damn food down my throat, whether I want it or not, so I don't slip back into that again, because, I mean, mental illnesses seem to like company, and when they pop up, they like to invite their friends to the party, and yeah, that one, I mean, I was anorexic at 9 years old, so I mean, if that tells you anything about the train wreck that is me, and it's been on and off ever since. I go through streaks where it all of a sudden shows up again, and that's a thing, and then I get hold of it for a few years, and then it shows up again. It's like, can we just not do that? And this, I mean, I've not even allowed myself on a scale, so that's not a thing. I'm, again, trying to not even look at my damn self in the mirror, so it's not like I'm stressing over my weight, appearance-wise. It's just depression has made me not want to frigging eat. It's not out of any desire to not be fat, it's just, I don't really want food at all. I don't know how long that'll go on for, or if I'm just gonna have to suck it up and force myself to eat, and eventually it'll sort itself out, probably. I mean, we've talked about this before. I really don't have a healthy relationship with food at all, and I don't think I ever have my entire life, even before age 9. I mean, part of that was just poverty when I was really little, and I mean, there was a few years in there, literally, the only things my dad could afford to have me eat were like peanut butter, mac and cheese, and hot dogs. Real fucking healthy, right? And that was like 3 years of my formative years. Yeah. So that was a thing at one point in time, and then when he suddenly was working again and could afford, like, food, yeah, funny thing, then I went into binge mode, and then I felt fat because of binge mode, and then I went into starvation anorexia mode, and that kind of started everything off for freaking ever, and it has forever been just this battle of not going into anorexia mode and trying to, at the same time, not completely binge either. It's like there has to be a happy medium between these two polarities. I just don't know where the hell it is. Never have. I don't know if I ever will. So it's just constant yo-yoing between the two. I don't know, but I mean, like I said, at least as of right now, I'm not doing it out of fear of weight gain or anything. It's just lack of desire to eat or do fucking anything, really. But yeah, to be fair, I know damn well it would probably help my mood at least a little bit if I could force myself to eat, because the couple days I got myself to eat a meal, yeah, my mood started to come back up a little bit for doing so. Not a lot, but a little bit. I don't have, like, any huge, massive reason to be depressed, just my brain is fucked up. It does not work correctly. It never has. It never will. Sometimes it acts more fucked up than others. So that's a thing. Kind of babbling. And then it doesn't help matters for trying to motivate myself to do anything when it kind of just feels like I'm shouting into a void and nobody hears me anyway, and I feel completely invisible, like nobody really notices my existence, whether I'm there or not, whether I live or die. No, I'm not suicidal, at least not right now. I can't make any promises. That could change on the stop of a frickin' dime, but But I'm not right now, as of making this video, believe it or not. If you have any doubts, feel free to comment me on my social medias. Make sure that I'm posting somewhere. I mean, I generally don't post on all of them every day, but as long as I'm posting something somewhere on any given day, be it Instagram, Twitter, or here, I mean, I don't really use Facebook that much, but those three, as long as you see me posting something, even a little something, on one of those three on any given day, I'm probably okay. I'm probably not suicidal. Now, if I disappear from all of them for days on end, might want to comment, hey, are you, like, alive? No, just check in. Let me know that somebody actually gives a shit about whether I am or not. Just a thought. You don't have to, though. I mean, yeah, that's pretty shitty of me to expect that anyone, so never mind. But yeah, it's not that severe. It's more just feel motivated to do anything, because I feel like, what difference does any of it make in the world, in the big scheme of things? What difference does any of it make? When nobody notices you're there or not to begin. Oh my god, I know what to compare it to. Those of you who are familiar with the musical Chicago, the song Mr. Cellophane feels like the story of my freaking life, okay? So if you're not familiar with it, go look it up. If you don't want to listen to it, just look at the lyrics. Basically, my perception of myself is that song, at least right now. So that's that thing. And when you're in that mentality space, it's really hard to convince yourself that anything at all is worth doing, because what difference does any of it make on the world? And I know that's me being stupidly dramatic and pedantic and this, that, and the other, and again, I have no good reason to feel any of this shit. Just kind of is. I don't know. I mean, a couple smallish things happened that really should not have been enough to send me spiraling out. So I don't think they were the cause. I think they definitely didn't help, but I don't think they caused it, because I think the wheels were definitely already in motion when they went down. But like, one of them just so you can laugh at my stupidity of the things that I prioritize as being something worth getting upset over. Someone from my past that I have not spoken to in quite a few years because I fucked things up with them years ago, randomly popped back into my life and started commenting on things, and I thought that was kind of weird, and all of a sudden threw the idea out there if I ever felt like writing with them again, because it was one of my old RP partners, that they might be down to do that. I should have known that this person would be perfectly happy to do me a disservice and do this just to get my hopes up, just to crush them. I should have seen it coming. I really, honest to God, should have seen that train coming a mile away. But I didn't, and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker, got my hopes up, started, even, for all of one afternoon, and then they, like, disappeared out of nowhere. I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe they're busy, and waited, rest of the night, into the next day, got to the next night, I finally messaged them, hey, everything okay? Like, thought we were gonna write. Message them. I'd messaged earlier that afternoon, hey, we kinda dropped off really suddenly, we gonna write today? And she's like, oh yeah, we will. That was it. And then didn't. So I was like, we good? Like, everything alright? Silence. Radio silence. Kept messaging on and off. Like, not non-stop. I mean, spaced out over a number of hours between messages, and next morning, hey, hope everything's okay, because thought we were gonna write, and then nothing, hope we're good. Are you stuck? I can take another turn if need be. can help you brainstorm, whatever you need. Radio silence. Okay, are we good? Did I say something wrong? Something I said? I don't really know. Silence. Checked in a couple more times. Is this not gonna be a thing? Silence. Around this point is when I started to realize, yeah, they never had any intention of this being a thing. They just wanted me to get my hopes up to rip the rug out from under me. Because that's the sort of person that this person is. And I should have known that. I really, honest to God, should have known and seen that coming, but I didn't. And went through like a whole week of having my hopes up and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting until I was finally like, hey, if you don't want to do this, we don't have to do this. Does that offer still stand right with one of your other characters if you have just total writer's block? Because I might be down for that. And then she just like snapped. She's like, you know, it would help if I weren't being badgered about it. It's like, whoa, all I did was ask if everything was okay and wanted to help. Holy shit, if you don't want to do this, I'm out. And she went off on me some more. I won't go into it, but I was like, this was your idea, in case you forgot. Not mine, but whatever. What the fuck ever. I'm out. Screw it. It's not worth the drama of dealing with you. So that was that. And honestly, really should have seen that coming going into it and just shouldn't have even interacted, honestly. Don't know why I thought it was a good idea. Blew up in my face. Always did with her. I'm an idiot. And my sister was quick to tell me that I was being an idiot when she figured out who I was subtweeting about. She's like, oh my god, how about next time you get this brilliant idea to friggin' roleplay as somebody that you're not, you don't put your life on hold to pretend to be somebody else and have somebody talk to you who's not really that person either. And, like, she doesn't comprehend roleplay, she just doesn't get it, but I was like, yeah, I haven't even done this in years, and thought maybe just one itty-bitty little storyline wouldn't hurt, but yeah, apparently this was all the confirmation I needed. Yeah, I don't want to go back down that road again. It's not mentally a good place for me. So, that did not pan out any further than about maybe 6 paragraphs. Yeah. That was enough, just in that amount of space, for me to get my hopes up on a storyline that I thought was dead years ago. It was just the hope that maybe it can actually continue, holy shit, and then nope, guess not. First world problems. Oh god, yeah, when you're as no life as I am, shit like that means something to you, and then to have it yanked away again, it hurts. Not gonna lie, it fucking hurts, but that's why I'm like, yeah, it wasn't even anything big that really should have sparked this off, and this was definitely already in motion by the time this incident went down. So I can't even blame it on that, but it definitely didn't help at all. So, you know, just for perspective, that was a thing. There was a few other just smallish things like that that on their own, individually, probably would be nothing, but when in the throes of depression kicking my ass to begin with, seemed hugely magnified beyond being what they are. Like, 2 months ago, bought tickets to see Labyrinth in theaters with my sister. She was down for this. She knew about it and was on board. They rolled around, and she totally made plans with her boyfriend and just ditched. Didn't even realize it. I could have said something, this is true. I should have said something, that is true. I didn't, because depression, making me feel like I'm a worthless piece of shit who does not deserve nice things. Especially when the previous weekend, it looked like she and her boyfriend were breaking up, but then didn't, so who the fuck am I to suddenly stand in the way of things being good with them and them, like, going out and having fun? I, of all people, would not do that. That would be a shithead move of me to expect that, even though I did have tickets 2 months in advance. So I ate it on those. And then she got mad at me for not reminding her. I was like, dude, here is my point of view. She's like, yeah, well, family should be a priority too. And frankly, yes, but not when it's me. I don't deserve to be a priority, especially when you're lucky enough to have a boyfriend. That should be the priority, and not gonna lie, if the tables were turned, I would have bailed on her ass too. So, you know, I get it. I don't blame her. That's why I didn't say anything and didn't bring it up. At the same time, the whole time she was out with her boyfriend, I fucking stayed at home and cried all day because I wasn't seeing David Bowie on a theater screen. But, because, you know, like I said, when you're in the throes of depression to begin with, things that in reality, in the big picture, are minuscule, are hugely magnified and feel like the end of the goddamn world. So, there's that. Probably didn't help matters that I just listened to As the World Falls Down on repeat while I cried. And also made the mistake of watching Bridget Jones's Diary, which I had never seen before. If I had had a clue what this movie was about, I never in a million years would have watched this movie while in a depressive fit. Because all it did was trigger a whole lot of raw emotions and made me feel even shittier than I already did to begin with. Awesome! Made me feel like even bigger of a loser! And the fact that the character was even the same age as me! Oh, fucking great! Because that definitely is making this somehow better. And thought, maybe I can, like, resonate with this, because a lot of things there was parallels with, that I felt pertained to my life. I felt gypped by the ending. Nobody gets that ending. Nobody lives that. That is Hollywood. No one gets that type of happy ending. It doesn't fucking happen. Don't bullshit me like that. So I just was very bitter and upset and kind of inconsolable, if we're being very honest here. So, you know, that, and just spiral deeper and deeper into my hole of depression that doesn't even have a good reason to be there to begin with, but oh hey, let's be triggered off by stupid shit that shouldn't be a trigger. 'Cause that is me. Told you, I am an open book. I tell you exactly how it is, because I know I am far from the only one who deals with depression, and I bet that if you've made it this far in the video, you probably deal with depression too, and you've probably lived something equivalent to this, and this is resonating with you, and that is why I have no problem sharing the ugly side of dealing with mental illness, because I know damn well it's not just me, and, you know, in a weird, fucked up kind of way, there's almost like a comfort in hearing someone else say it. The things you felt and thought you were the only one and felt that you're just that damaged. There's something just weirdly comforting about knowing you're not the only one who's been there. Not quite sure why that is. Maybe it's the strength in numbers thing. I don't really know. I honestly don't know. But, yeah, it's weirdly comforting. I definitely watch other people talk about the same topics because it resonates with me and makes me feel a little less alone in the world. Especially when, you know, you feel invisible to begin with, like nobody hears you. It's a powerful thing, I think. Yeah, so don't really have a point or anything of where I'm going with this. Just kind of touching base on how I've been and how I have kind of not been okay, if we're being brutally honest. So at least you know where I'm coming from in my absence on here. Is that it's not me being lazy, it's just my mental space has not been so good. Again, not suicidal bad, but definitely not good. So, it's nothing to be worried over, I don't think, if we're being brutally honest. I'm sure that sooner or later I'm gonna pop out the other side of it and be fine. Because freaking bipolar, that is how it works. It's cyclical, it's this weird cycle. We've talked about it. There's no point in rehashing that again. I'm sure you can go back through my videos and find the videos where I've talked about that if you want a better in-depth description of that. But, I don't even feel like this necessarily followed the manic-depressive cycle so much as it's just depression this time. Just kinda snuck up on me out of nowhere. It's like, hey, bitch! Gonna fuck up your life for a while, cause I'm here, get used to it. Yeah. It helps me not take it quite as personally when I personify the depression as a separate entity and give it a personality and everything, rather than just feel like it's me being a terrible, shitty failure of a human, you know? It just, I don't know, maybe my personification of it is a sign of just how mentally sick I really am. I don't know, but, I don't know, I don't do that with everything, necessarily. I probably should do it with certain things that I don't. I feel like if I did that with anxiety, maybe I'd have better luck controlling the damn thing, but with depression, it's just always kind of been a thing that decides to show up. I should honestly give it a name, but at this point, because it seems to be a frequent visitor and always has been throughout my life, but I have not named it. But I should. But I have definitely personified it and given it a personality. And it's a mean son of a bitch. And it's abusive to me. At least to my mental self. It probably is some weird manifestation of it as well, that on the rare occasions that I do manage to push myself to do something like exercise, I am very mentally abusive to myself just to make myself do it. Like, I am way meaner than any drill sergeant, the way that I talk to myself in my head to make myself do the thing. And I know damn well that it's not necessarily me, that is the depression talking and belittling me over and over and over, but at the same time, I know that it is my brain that is coming up with those things, so I mean, I can only personify it so far. I mean, I'm not schizophrenic, I don't have multiple personalities, I'm not hearing voices or anything. It's not like that, although if you are, no disrespect to you whatsoever, that was not meant to be an offense, at all. I'm just clarifying in case anybody was curious if that was applicable to me. No, it is not. So that is one mental illness I do not have. I seem to have a big bulk of them, but that is one that I don't. So at least that is one checkbox I don't have to tick. So I mean, I'm grateful for that, but fuck, I don't know. It's just weird and kind of, I don't know, I mean, it's both empowering and terrifying to say the words out loud and talk about my experiences with it. Like, I'm honestly, like, sweating bullets on this shirt right now. I guess I can't lift my arm high enough to make it show, but I have, like, sweated all the way through this shirt just out of anxiety in talking about this, even though I've talked to you about my depression before, especially when it's been way the fuck worse than this, and, like, actually potentially dangerous levels before. And yet, with it being not even necessarily that severe, just kind of being omnipresent at the moment, just kind of there, I mean, not really making me do anything that bad other than not eat, it's just kind of there and making me feel like shit, and yet that feels scarier to me somehow than when it's been super bad, because at least usually when it's super bad, there's actually some very legitimate trigger that set it off. I don't have any really legitimate triggers this time other than just my brain chemicals got very out of whack, probably from when I was sick and had to take a lot of medications to try and control that and get better, and the whole, physically being sick thing, I'm sure didn't help my brain chemistry either. It's enough to throw it out of whack, that is for sure. And that's all it takes, really, when you have mental illness, is just anything like that that can throw things into an imbalance. It's enough to spark it off. You don't need anything necessarily terrible to have happened to you for it to decide to rear its very ugly head. But yeah, I'm well aware that in how I've been looking at myself and thinking about myself, that is definitely a thing right now, because I have not been very nice to myself at all. So that's a thing. And just feeling like I'm a huge waste of space. Like everything I do is pointless. Like, what the hell's the point? I'm never going to get ahead at anything I ever do. Why do I even bother? What is the point? These are not my normal thoughts. I know damn well that is the depression talking, and I'm trying to just coast it out and wait for it to stop. Eventually it will. I mean, it always does. That is at least, I don't want to say good thing, but I mean, I don't know how else to word it, so the one good thing of having basically literally been born dealing with mental illness and having this many years under my belt is knowing damn well that even if it takes a while, it is temporary. I will eventually pop up out the other side. I just have to be patient enough to wait for that to happen. And to not do anything stupid in the meantime, like, starve myself to death, but easier said than done. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, there was a couple days that if we're being honest here, I didn't even get out of my bed. Just cards on the table. Did not even get out of bed. There was a couple days that I spent the entire day just on the couch with a blanket. May as well have been in bed. Friggin' just, like, watching movies or YouTube videos, because I had no motivation to do anything at all, even take care of myself. Much less anything productive, like get on here or work on data entry or Etsy stuff, anything. Just everything felt so futile. It was like, what the fuck's the point? Why bother? Which, again, saying the words out loud, it sounds way stupider than when they're just in your head. That is one thing that I've found is true, is that as soon as you say it out loud, it gets smaller. The longer you keep it in your head, it gets bigger. So that's another part of why I make these videos, is to have somewhere where I can say these things out loud. Even if literally not a single person watches them, it gave me an excuse to say them out loud. Because I don't have a therapist or anything, so, and trust me, none of my family wants to listen to it. They've all heard it to death my whole life. They're sick of it. They are sick of it. They do not want to hear any of it. They would be quite happy if I did fucking off myself. So, I mean, just saying, I can't just go talk to them about it. They have made their feelings quite well known, that they are done listening to any of my mental health shit. So, you guys get me! Even though I'm sure you don't want to listen to it either. And that's why I said, if you don't want to, I hold nothing against you for not clicking on these, or for just quickly clicking out. I don't care. It's fine. It's therapeutic to me just to have a place to talk it out at all, even if not one person listens. So, there's that. I don't know. It's weird. It's a confusing, scary, lonely place to be in. And I know I'm not doing myself any favors by further, what's the word I'm looking for? Not alienating, but, not withdrawing, but basically means withdrawing isolating. Isolating myself from pretty much everyone. I mean, even online. I mean, I've had a few Twitter interactions with people just to have some sort of human contact. But I mean, I'm sure people, friends, have, like, given up on me left and right by my stupid, depressive ass not getting around to messages like I should. I don't blame them. And that's probably one of my least favorite parts of dealing with mental illness, is the fact that I manage to screw up everything I touch. I manage to screw up every relationship because of, if it's not the depression, it's the anxiety. It's one or the other. Making me feel like I either can't talk to people or that I am not worthy of wasting people's time to talk to them, which, again, saying it out loud sounds really stupid, but in the moment it always feels very, very legit and scary, and like, nobody wants to listen to me. Why waste their time and make myself look that much worse in the process? Like, what the hell? Why do that? It's better to just not say anything and not waste their time and come off looking really rude than wasting their time and come off looking like a complete train wreck, you know? Or really annoying, or really any number of things that I tend to feel like when I feel like I can't talk to people. I mean, that is probably the number one reason why I can't keep friendships going, why I can't keep relationships going, because I do that. And there's no good reason for it. I'm aware that I do it, and even when I try to work on it, I only ever have temporary success before I relapse right the fuck back into it over and over and over again. And that's why I don't blame anybody for not wanting to have anything to do with me. I do not blame them at all. People are probably better off not getting too close, because it's sort of like Bermuda's Triangle. You get too close, you get pulled in. I don't blame anyone for not wanting to get pulled into it. So, even though I know that it's damn well my own fault that it even is that way, which then feeds into the self-loathing, which feeds into the anxiety and the depression, which just then strengthens itself and makes me feel that much less able to actually interact with humans. And the cycle goes. And like I said, every once in a while I manage to temporarily break it for like a minute, and then I fall right back into it, and I look like an asshole, and just nobody likes me, and that is why. Not because I'm necessarily a terrible person, just I fail at peopling. So, there's that. Yeah. That's a thing. And even if I do manage to get myself to talk to people, they don't want to hear about the sort of shit that I go on about, because if I'm not in a bad mental place, all I do is babble on about shit that no one cares about other than me. And that is, thanks to the fucking Asperger's syndrome, that is like my biggest thing that I deal with that. That's usually like the telling symptom that somebody has it, is they just latch on to a certain special interest and they will talk at end about it, even when clearly the person on the other end doesn't want to hear about it. Like, our brains can't comprehend it till after the fact that, yeah, this person did not give a singular fuck about what you just babbled on for 3 hours about. And that this is why they avoid you, because they don't want to hear about it. Yeah. That thing. So it's like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if I do manage to get myself to talk, that's what happens. If I try to make that not happen, I go into the other mode of just not talking to people at all, because I feel like I'm a burden on them and that no one wants to hear what I have to talk about, because I have nothing of substance to talk about. so I just don't. And then people think I'm being mean or being rude or that I don't care or all sorts of things, and just, I can't win. I can't win either way. And it sucks. I'm willing myself to not cry. Like, no, I put on eye makeup, I'm not gonna fucking cry like a baby. Okay. I'm okay. Just give me a sec. Blinking it away. Okay. So, yeah. So I know damn well that that is a big factor in why I feel so useless and so pointless. But like I said, it no matter what I do there, I can't seem to win. Because it's always one of those polarities. And even if I try to just talk and not do that, all it ends up becoming is me basically parroting back whatever the person's talking about, because apparently my brain can't handle not talking about my obsession-worthy topics, and yeah, that. So basically I don't know how to people, and it sucks, and it's why everyone thinks I'm weird and why nobody likes me, and I don't blame them. Sometimes I can hide it better than others. Sometimes I can, it's always temporary if I can mask it and act like a normal human, because people see through that facade like that. It only takes a couple of times of talking to me before I start getting a little too comfortable, and then I slip back into, oh yeah, my obsession-worthy topics, and then no one wants to hear it, and next thing I know, they're ghosting me, or I tripped myself out on this, I'm just like, no, they don't want to hear it, I know for a fact they don't want to hear it, so I'm just gonna not bother them. You know, as you do. So, there's that. It sucks. I wish I didn't fail at peopling so badly, but I do. So that's always a big point of self-loathing right there. It's that I'm just not worthy of people's time because all I do is waste it if I do have it. Like right now, I feel like if you're still watching this, like I've been wasting your time for about an hour. And I'm sorry. Again, you have, at least watching me on a video, you have the ability to click out at any moment. And my feelings will not be hurt by that. If you were talking to me one-on-one, and then we're going on like this, and all of a sudden you just were like, gotta bounce by, then yeah, my feelings would be hurt, because then I'd know it's a direct relation of you not wanting to hear it. So, that's probably part of why I feel more comfortable talking to a camera where there's no immediate direct feedback than, you know, one-on-one where it's just a constant string of rejections. And will probably always be that way. All of my days. And part of me just accepts that and knows that is the norm because that's just how it's always been, and I don't know how to be any other way. Even working with a therapist, the best they could do for me was just try to teach me how to assimilate a little better with other people to not seem as aspy, but I mean, it only works to a degree before the facade falls away, so fucking autism, man. But, it makes me happy that there's at least better awareness of it nowadays, so people kind of sort of get it a little bit, but a lot of people also weaponize that against a person, and that hurts. So, the one that it shouldn't even be as big a deal as it is, it's when people go, huh, your autism's showing, and like, I know damn well that they meant it as a joke, but for me, it cuts me like a freaking knife and just makes me emotionally and socially just shut the fuck down. And just, okay, we're done here. And then I have to leave, and that's that. And I basically try to make a point of just not even coming in contact with that person again after that has happened. And generally avoid it pretty strongly, because I can't handle it. And it sounds so stupid, I know, but it hurts really badly. Or when people just assume that Asperger's syndrome is like the same thing as Down syndrome, and I'm like, those aren't even remotely the same thing. I'm not, like, completely mentally retarded. I'm apparently socially retarded, and apparently on certain subjects, like when it comes to numbers, yes, I very much am handicapped when it comes to shit like that. But in a lot of other areas, I pass as just an average person, so there's always the people who either take it as, well, you're just really, really stupid, or you're probably faking. It's like, I have a fucking clinical diagnosis, bitch, but whatever. It's not even worth it to fight with people over. It's like, for what possible reason? Like, what are you gonna gain from it either way? So, those people too, I tend to just avoid after one of those interactions, because it hurts. To have basically felt like a freak your entire life, up till you finally got a diagnosis and find out that so many of the weird things about you, there's actually a name for that, and there's a reason for that. On one hand, it's freeing, but on the other hand, now people have that to use against you. So, you win some, you lose some. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know where this is going. I'm kind of just in distraction mode of trying to keep it together long enough to pop out the other side of depression. Because I know I will. I always do. It's just a matter of getting there. It'd be nice if it could, chop, hurry up. But, it's taking its sweet time. And I've been trying to do things like, if nothing else, sit near like a really, really big open sunny window to try and get some vitamin D from the sun into my system to try and help with the depressiveness. It helps some. I mean, you guys know about basically my blindness on this side, and bright light really, really screws with this eye and causes me physical pain and makes me nauseous, so actually going out in it without dark glasses on, which defeats the purpose. That's why I generally just don't go out in it. So there's that, but coming as close to it as possible without being directly in it where it's causing me physical pain and symptoms, I try to do that at least so I can get some of the benefits from it. I mean, I realize that you still get the vitamin D through your skin even if you wear dark glasses, but I do notice that the effectiveness on my mood, there's a difference between having the glasses on and not. So, I don't know, I seem to be very sensitive to light levels in pertinence to my mood. I feel like that's probably subconsciously one of the reasons why I sleep with lights on, because my brain is just so starved for just light to try and stimulate that dopamine response or whatever, that it just cannot deal without it being there. So basically anywhere where it's sunny but at the same time not causing me pain, I try to at least stay near it. In hopes that it'll do something, which would be nice. I just started another one of those doodle challenges a day ago. Again, partly as a means of distraction, and partly just to give my brain something constructive to do with itself, and maybe, hopefully, give myself something to feel like I have something I'm at least a tiny bit, maybe kind of sort of a little bit good at, and can maybe not feel completely shitty about myself on one thing in my life. I mean, I'm only 2 days into it, but, you know, I did come up with a pretty good one, I think. I mean, the first one was crap, but that was mostly because I couldn't come up with anything that great for it, but second prompt was robot, so I did Mega Man, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it came out pretty badass. So that was today's. And I was feeling pretty good about it until my dad walked by and was like, yeah, it's good, but I don't see what possible purpose there was in making that. It's like taking that needle, go right into the balloon. Just totally burst my bubble. Made me feel like shit about myself again. Because for about a hot minute there, felt proud of myself for like little tiny bit of time. And then that happened. It made me feel like everything I do is pointless all over again. Again, as we do. So stupid. I know shit like that normally wouldn't even get to me, but when you're in depression mode, everything feels really, really amplified, and your emotions and your nerves are just so raw. It's like getting a skinned knee and then pouring salt on it. Like, it's gonna, like, if you didn't have that skinned knee and you just poured salt on your skin, it wouldn't do anything. But having a raw open wound and you do that and oh my god, it hurts like a fucking bitch. Yeah, I compare it to being like that when you're in depression mode versus just normal time. I don't know, well, there's no real such thing as normal, but versus non-depressive mode, I should say. But, I thought it was good. But, and something about making it, at least until he burst my bubble. Maybe it was the fact that it was my dad that made that comment that hurt so badly, but, that game in particular was always very near and dear to my heart, because when I was super little, my dad would play it for hours and beat the whole thing, and I would just sit there and watch him, and it was something that I could actually, like, have some sort of shared interest in with him, even if I wasn't actively playing it, was just watching. I mean, I was like 4, but, and got to the point where I was so attached to it that, like, before he'd go to work each day, I'd basically request him to play it all the way through before he left for work, and he did that for a while, actually, until he finally just hooked up the camcorder to the TV and literally, he was ahead of his time with this, but basically filmed his own gameplay videos for me of him beating the entire game, and I still have that tape, actually, and still have it committed to memory, exactly the route that he used to beat it, and I can beat that game in like 45 minutes using that route to this day. But it just had a very sentimental place in my heart because of my dad in that particular game. And, anyways, so to have him, of all people, be the one to just burst my bubble on that, of all things, it just made it hurt that much worse that he had to totally destroy it. But anyway, hold on a minute. Okay, sorry. My dad has recently also made a Facebook that apparently I'm having to teach him how to use. So I had to go do that, and I got myself a soda in hopes that maybe sugar and caffeine will do something in my brain. So anyway, ironically, in the couple minutes that I got up and checked in on my own computer, now what we were just talking about, yeah, apparently my dad liked the picture on Facebook. Not that that necessarily means much anything, but, guess he realized he'd look like a big asshole if he didn't, so, you know, there's that. And no, I didn't just go tell him to do that. He wanted to know how to untag somebody from a picture, so. So anyways, yeah, that's a thing. Oh, the irony that the next prompt in this challenge is self-love. I feel very unqualified to be making any art inspired by that particular phrase right now. I don't even know what that would look like, but yeah, it's kind of like when I was doing that one doodle challenge the year that I tried to and the next prompt in the list was never give up, and was like, I of all people would be the biggest hypocrite in the world if I made art based on that right now. So I don't know, this doesn't feel as horrible, but maybe I'll still do it. I don't know, or I'll just fail on this challenge 2 days in, because I fail at everything else in life. Why would this be any different? But anyways, I don't know, I'm not even that good. I don't know why I kid myself into thinking that maybe if I keep doing it I'll be good. But you would think at 33 years old I would be able to just accept the fact that I am not good at things. I am one person who is not good at things at all. And that's just facts. I can't be delusional and keep telling myself I'm good at things that I'm not. It just is what it is. So I don't know. God, and then there's drama in a fandom that I'm a part of that I don't want to name names on, but those of you who know me and have any knowledge of said fandom probably know exactly what I'm talking about, and know that I keep getting called upon to provide evidence of a certain thing. And at this point, my comments keep getting deleted from a very public page. Yeah, a certain lady who means more to me than anything in the world, we suspect is being very much gaslit, just like in the days of her fourth husband. I'm trying very hard not to use names right now, but at the same time be clear who I'm talking about. And a friend and I were originally joking about this, like we didn't think it was actually, we were just kind of kidding about some of the weird parallels there are. And then some stuff happened to where she messaged me one morning, was like, I don't think we're joking anymore. I think this is actually happening. And provided me with certain evidences. And I looked at these, and I wanted to believe a certain person involved in this situation was better than that. And basically everything that I'm finding is making this person look more and more guilty by the second of doing exactly that thing. Right down to having her sell off basically all of her belongings, and he's taking the profits. He's not even trying to hide that fact. Which is exactly what her fourth husband did to her. He just kept her doped up enough to be able to sell the stuff off, and then didn't really care what happened after that because he had the money and he ran. Yeah, this one's not even a husband. Ironically, though, she became an ordained minister so she could do his wedding. Yeah, that makes it that much more effed up, and the further back we've looked, the more we're realizing this guy's had a hand in her stuff for quite a while, so he knew exactly what he was doing and was waiting for an opportune moment to strike. And just watching this as an outsider and feeling very helpless despite it being really, really obvious, it's just like, that's not a good feeling. Here's the thing, I do have certain contacts that are very, very, very close to her that have also confirmed that this is very much a thing that's happening, and that even they themselves don't have any kind of way of stopping it. And if even they, who are very much involved in her life directly, can't stop it, what's an outsider gonna do? Absolutely nothing, except sit back and watch. I now understand how frustrating it must have felt to have been a fan during the marriage to husband number 4. I missed out on that by like this much because the point where I became a fan of hers was while she was divorcing that husband. So I missed it by like this much. But now I'm understanding how that had to have felt to have been a fan during that period. And just feeling frustrated at, like, you're literally watching this train wreck unfold and there's nothing you can do about it. Even though, and in this day and age, it's a lot more obvious, and the dude's incriminating himself left and fucking right on what all he's doing to control her. It kind of came to a head when he posted a picture of her where she was, like, so feeble she couldn't, like, stand up straight without looking like she was about to fall over, like, clutching onto him. I'm a compulsive picture saver. I save all the things. That was something my dad instilled in me from, like, my very first computer on, that the internet is for saving pictures. So, I downloaded that the second I saw it, even though it disturbed the crap out of me, and I was discussing this photo with a few people, and all of a sudden that picture was deleted. I was like... And then a different one was put up in its place, where she looked a bit better, but was, like, sat down and everything, so they could mask the fact that, that she looked so bad. And then people were like, what happened to the other picture? And he literally commented back, what other picture? So I commented him with the picture. And he deleted it within 5 minutes of my posting it. And then he deleted his comment of what other picture, and deleted all the comments pertaining to said picture, and is basically pretending like this didn't happen. It's like, what the fuck just happened? So a lot of people in said fandom have been coming to me over this. They're like, can you do anything? And I was like, no, what the hell am I gonna do? I'm basically an outsider to this situation. What the hell would I be able to do here other than I can provide proofs of things, because I, like, screen cap all the things and save all the things, but, other than that, I don't know what you want me to do. I feel really helpless here, because a lot of times I'm kind of the conduit between certain individuals that are very close to said person and the rest of the fandom, so yeah, it sucks being absolutely helpless in this, and knowing damn well that there is definitely shady things going on, and God only knows where it's headed, and yet we're just gonna have to sit back and watch it. And I'm just like, oh my god. This is terrifying and really upsetting. I have no words, and without going into it in any more specific details than that, there's not a lot else I can say on it, but I hate how helpless I feel, because it's like, I wish there were more I could do, but I'm not close enough to the situation to do anything, when apparently even the people that are close to the situation, for one reason or another, cannot do anything legally about it. One in particular cannot, for fear of deportation, because someone technically is not a legal citizen, and he is afraid to blow the whistle on this situation because he knows the guy that is screwing over said person would quickly be on him like the white on rice to make sure he's out of here if he tries to act up. There's a couple other people very close to the situation that, for other reasons, feel that they can't do shit. And I'm like, you're telling me there's literally not one person in that circle who's in a position to be able to blow the whistle? Are you kidding me right now? I'm just honestly really disgusted and really, really dismayed and upset, and like I said, there's nothing I can personally do about it, except just watch what happens, I guess. But yeah, that's also not helping my depression any, just knowing that that's a thing that is happening, and that a lot of fandom has been, like, messaging me, asking me if I could do anything. I'm like, there's nothing I can personally do. I don't know what you want from me. I mean, that's where it's a weird position to be in, to be held in very, very high esteem of a certain fandom, but at the same time not being quite high enough in it to actually be able to make a difference. So that also has me just feeling like absolute utter shit about myself for not being able to do anything to help with this craptastic situation that's going on, that apparently major shit's going down and there's no stopping the train that is in motion. I need to get my charger wire for this, but I'm gonna wrap this up in a minute because it's been like an hour. I'm sorry. Let me get that. Hold on just a minute. Because I don't need my iPod to die while I'm trying to record, so. But, anyways. Hold on just a minute. Try not to knock this over. Okay, extension cord, come here. Okay, I got this. Okay. Hold on. Alright, so anyways. Yeah. To say, without naming names, those of you who know me to pretty much any degree can probably read between the lines on the situation and know exactly who all I am talking about, but I don't want to drop names for fear of somehow, some way having this bite me on the ass, so. But yeah, you want to message me privately and hear all about it? Feel free, but I don't think anyone wants to particularly hear about it, but it's a very, very odd situation. I will give it that. But anyway, yeah. That's basically a blip on my radar right now of shit that is contributing to my depression, but I did feel it warranted a mention. Because, I mean, I'm sure on some level it is contributing to it. Just not as majorly as some of the others. But it's still bad. It's still bad. But I think the biggest contributor is just my stupid brain chemicals being off. And they have to regulate themselves, and they will. They do that. That's kind of the nature of it. Brains are resilient. They have a way of doing that when they need to. But, I don't know. It just, everything feels fucked up and upside down and confusing and scary. And like I said, I don't even have a particularly good reason to feel like that. Just, but I do. That's the truth of it, is that I do. So, I'd be kidding myself if I try to just sweep it under the rug and pretend it weren't happening. But yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. I'm hoping that it'll sort itself out sooner rather than later. That would be nice. I would like to not feel like the biggest failure that has ever walked the face of the earth again, like in the not distant future. Because again, I am well aware that that's mostly the depression talking. I mean, I know I don't have much going for me, but I mean, at least when I'm not in active depression mode, I can at least find some sort of redeeming qualities. But at times like this, like, yeah, no, I have absolutely nothing fucking going for me. I have nothing to offer this planet. Not entirely sure why I'm here, but I am, and no, I'm not planning on doing anything about that, don't worry, but I'd be lying if I claimed that I don't feel like a waste of space, so, kind of like a waste of resources and things, but I'm not gonna do anything. Just my brain's being fucked up. As usual, honestly. Gotta laugh about it or I'll cry, so not trying to make light of it, just my stupid nervous laugh. We've talked about that. So, anywho, I think that's about it. I can try to throw myself back into my regular schedule. I'm not sure how successful I'll be. I can try, but I don't want to make promises that I can't necessarily keep. But at the same time, I feel like I'm letting you guys all down any day that goes by that I don't post. So it's like this catch-22 situation of, do I either make myself record when I just am not feeling it, if we're being honest, and have no motivation to be doing it, and hope that maybe some feedback will like trigger off some serotonin response in my brain and help a little bit, if nothing else, and maybe it'll be one step back in the right direction? Or do I just stay away until I have my shit together? I don't really know. I feel like I'm letting you guys down if I don't post, but on the other hand, I know I'm deluding myself if I try and make myself feel like I'm of any importance whatsoever to any of you guys. So, I don't know. It's a weird thing. YouTube's a weird place. But if nothing else, if I'm posting here, you at least know I must be, at the very least, marginally okay. If I'm okay enough to be recording and posting, so there's that, and that is one thing that makes me feel like I probably should just do it anyway, even if I'm not feeling it. Because by not doing it, it just feeds into that vicious cycle of feeling worthless and pointless and like a failure, and like I can't even handle the most simple of things. It's not like the videos I make are particularly difficult. Literally anyone could do them. I still don't understand why you guys watch me at all, but I'm grateful that you do. But I feel unqualified. So I feel like I should be able to handle making those things, even if I am a complete and total train wreck. I don't know. It's weird. But, I don't know why I'm asking you guys. I'll either do it or I won't. I guess it can't hurt to at least try to make it a goal to at least try to do the thing, because at least if I do it, even if I'm not feeling it, at least it'll feel like I accomplished something. Even if it is of no importance whatsoever to anyone, at least I accomplished a thing. At least in some way, shape, or form, I was productive. Even if just for a few minutes. And those few minuteses will eventually add up, I'm sure, into feeling like, okay, I can handle this whole being human thing. I can do this. Just when you get stuck in the whirlwind of doing nothing, it's like an object in motion remains in motion, and if you stop it, it's easy to stay stopped unless you have some sort of factor force it to start moving again, you know? So I have to give myself some sort of kick in the ass to just do the thing, even if nobody but me cares. I just have to do the thing, I guess. So this video is totally pointless. I'm sorry for wasting you guys' time. Um, I don't really know what I'm doing. Cards on the table. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I'm just trying to hold my shit together enough just to muddle through and get to the other side of depression and pop out the other side and just be back at normalcy. I don't know. Like I said, it's weird. I'm weird, but you all knew that. So, I don't know. At least I stopped sweating finally. Now I have chills from my shirt being all wet from sweating, but at least I stopped sweating. I guess there's that. TMI. Sorry. Yeah. Nothing else. I'll try and get a review done. I mean, it'd be nice to also get like the April favorites thing done, but I don't know that I had that many things that were favorite worthy, so that may be a very, very short video. Fair warning. But it is what it is. So take it or leave it. You guys don't have to watch anything you don't want to. So I think that goes without saying all the time. If you don't want to watch my channel, then don't. But I'll throw the content out there anyway and hope for the best and hope maybe that somehow, some way, it helps somebody. I don't know how. I mean, I know some of you guys comment to me and say that you binge watch my videos and it helps you relax or it helps you fall asleep, helps you not feel so lonely, and in that regard, I feel like maybe it does have a point. Even if it wasn't necessarily the intended purpose, at least it's serving a purpose at all, and that to me is enough, I think. Because a lot of times, what you set out to do, you may not actually hit the mark on that, but in trying to do that, you did do this, though. And that's pretty good, too. So, I think it's still good enough, I think. I know there's plenty of people who point at me and laugh at what a friggin' train wreck I am, and they think my channel is totally pointless and weird and stupid, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with them, but I feel like it is discrediting things to claim that it's pointless when I know that for some people, even if just a handful of them, it does serve some kind of a purpose on some level. So that's mainly the reason why I've kept this going, what, 12 years? 13 years? How old is this channel? I don't friggin' know. I think it's 12 years this year. Well, I've done it this many years and not completely jumped ship. I mean, there was like a 3 or 4 year span where I didn't post anything, but other than that period, I've pretty much not jumped ship from this site. Even though it's never really had a clear direction or anything else. It's just kind of where the fuck I felt like filming at any given moment. I kind of just turned the camera on and started talking about whatever the hell I talked about that day. It never had a theme, it never had a point, it just kind of has been a thing. And this many years in, you would think that it would have figured itself out in what exactly it is, but it's still not exactly clear what it is, but it's clear that it is a thing. I'm just not quite sure what the thing is. So, I don't know if that's good, bad, or otherwise. I kind of just take it as face value that it's a thing. I like running it. I like interacting with you guys. I like that you guys apparently like watching it, because if you didn't, yeah, I don't think you'd be watching it. I think you'd be watching something else if you didn't want to. So, I mean, if you're here, I assume that you enjoy watching it. So, there's that. And the fact that I've done it for 12 years and there's still people here. Not only are there still people here, but there's more people here than I started with. So, I mean, can't be all bad, I don't think. I mean, my view counts tell another story, but that's okay. It's fine. I mean, a lot of them, initially, it seems like they were huge failures when I look at view counts and see, like, 20 views on a thing. And I just, well, that happened. I totally forget about it. And I come back and look at stats like a couple of years later, and all of a sudden that video that had like 20 views on it has like 500, and I'm like, you know, in the grand scheme of YouTube, it's not much, but for me, that's decent. That's pretty good. Okay. It may not have gotten the attention right away, but it eventually found an audience. So, I mean, I think a lot of my content's been like that, where it didn't necessarily hit the mark when I first posted it, but it eventually finds an audience. So, it's not completely pointless in that regard. I mean, there was one video in particular that I didn't think anybody was ever even gonna click on, because it's so niche and so weird. It was the how to steam block acrylic yarn video, actually. I never thought anybody would watch that, and all of a sudden, that's like my top earning video out of my entire like library of almost 1,700 videos. Yeah, I post a lot. It has a bunch of views out of nowhere, and for the longest time it had like no views. It had like five fucking views. And all of a sudden it's got a ton. I'm like, I don't know where these people came from, but I'm really happy that apparently all of a sudden it has an audience, and I feel like that whenever any video of mine suddenly does that, it's just like, it found its people. Okay. It finally is serving its purpose that it was originally recorded for. And obviously there's plenty of videos in my library that never find an audience, and that's okay too, but the grand majority of them do eventually find one. It just takes a while. But, hell, when I click things in recommended videos in my feed and stuff, when I look at the posted dates of a lot of them are from like 2015 or older, so I mean, I get it. It makes sense. It just takes a while for them to grow legs sometimes. So, that's something I have to keep in mind a lot more often, I think, because it's easy to just look at the initial view counts and feel like a huge failure because initially it flopped. It fell on its face and fell down, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. But then, if I make a point of going back and looking at it 6 months, a year down the road, it's doing considerably better a lot of the time. There's certain videos that really just don't, and I don't have a good reason for why I even film them other than people keep asking for them, so as long as people are asking, I'm gonna keep making them, even if it's just one person who wants to see it. But, that's just a thing. So, but even those, I mean, if even one person specifically wanted to see it and they get to see that thing, and I made it just for them, then, you know, I did a job. So, may not be a very well-paying one, but it's still a job of sorts anyway. So, I'm going to stop babbling. I'm going to, well, first I'm going to upload this, and I'm going to at least try to be productive and try to do something. I don't know what exactly I'm going to do today, other than just make it a point to at least try to be productive, because I've wasted a lot of the past month not being productive, and that kind of sucks, and I feel shitty about that, and I need to be better than that. So, I'm gonna go. I'll hopefully be back later with another video. Again, no promises. I'm gonna try. I'm going to try. But, if I'm not, don't get mad at me. I'm in a delicate place. Please don't be mean to me right now. I really cannot handle it at the moment. So, if you're mean to me, I will most definitely cry, and maybe that will make you feel better about yourself, and I guess then it serves a purpose, but please don't be mean to me right now. My heart can't handle it. If we're being really brutally honest here, my heart cannot handle meanness right now, so please just, if you feel obligated to leave a downvote, leave a downvote, but don't leave a cruel comment. If you feel the need to, please just don't. Just keep it for another day. If you feel that strong about being mean, just hold it a little longer and then be mean to me, okay? Just not today. Not when I'm still this raw. So, anyways, like I said, I'm gonna go. So, see ya.